Salut tout le monde. Hop, on se retrouve pour un nouveau live. Ah, hop, voilà. Donc, chapitre 2, ouais. Le live il durera pas longtemps par contre du coup parce que voilà. Il durera pas longtemps, genre il se terminera à 17h30 quoi. À peu près 1 heure de live. Et ouais. Bon. Alors, attendez, là, du coup ça charge, ça bug un peu. Oula, attendre que le programme réponde. Ah là là, ça commence bien. Allez, démarre le jeu. Ok. Oui. Faut que... Oula, attends, c'est horrible par contre. Je vais me baisser un peu le son dans mes oreilles. Voilà. Ah bon, on les a pas récupérés eux. Ok. Allez. Ouais. Faut qu'on en récupère combien là? Faut qu'on en récupère combien des objets? Non mais c'est une blague. Allez. Et merde. Ouais. Youpi. Je crois que là on a tout. Faut qu'on en récupère combien des objets là? Et hop. Oh mais... Oh le pas de bol. Faut qu'on en récupère combien des objets là? Et hop. Voilà. 1000 objets récupérés, non. Voilà. Hop. Et voilà, je pense que là on a fait vraiment tout le tour des objets, hein. Honnêtement.
The old man then asked the old lady Heather and I to
Heather
follow
et
him
moi de le
outside.
suivre dehors.
I was happy too,
J'étais
as it
content,
was a
c'était une belle
lovely hot
journée chaude.
day.
Ok, ok. Alors,
The old man said he was worried that Alice had
qu'il avait
been
peur qu'elle
boring again.
ait
She
recommencé
had
son
filled up a
accumulation
small
remplie
barn with
de
old
vieilles
bicycles and newspapers.
granges de vélos et de
Heather said
journaux.
this would be a perfect chance
C'était
to
l'occasion
properly
parfaite pour
test
tester
my new
mes nouveaux
powers.
pouvoirs.
The old man thought for a second, then
Puis
said,
dit qu'il fallait
using the
utiliser
steptoe
le
chip,
puce
I should
step
find and
tout.
clean at least 300
Au
things.
moins 300 objets.
When we explained to Alice what we wanted to do, she seemed scared.
Elle parut
But after the old
terrifiée.
lady
Quand
kindly
il
explained that,
expliqua que
well,
la grange
the
commençait à
barn was
sentir
starting
mauvais,
to smell, she said it would be okay.
elle dit qu'il n'y avait pas de
One
problème.
last thing, said the old man. If you want to use a door, just push up.
Ok.
When I was
Merde.
about to enter the old barn, Mr.
Allez.
Silton said he had seen some mushrooms growing inside. He asked me to give him any that I found. He then winked,
Ok.
but I wasn't sure why.
D'accord. Incroyable la musique. Ta 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 ta. Bon, par contre là, c'est écran noir là. Voilà. Et voilà. Comment je peux faire pour monter? Ah bah oui. Hop. On va monter en haut, ouais. Hop. Allez, allez, allez. Ta, 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 ta. Elle est incroyable la musique. Voilà. Bon, du coup, maintenant. Par contre, on a ramassé combien d'objets en total là? Je sais même pas combien on en a ramassé en total. Putain, mais elle est immense la grange. Ah, et merde. Et merde. Ah, mais... Mais non. On a toujours ramassé là. Ok, c'est bon. On a tout ramassé. Et merde. Je crois
The
qu'on a
old
tout
man was
ramassé.
very happy with everything that I had cleaned. But I think Mr. Silton was even more happy with his mushrooms.
Avec ses champignons. Oh là là. Il est content. Il est content avec ses champignons. Il y a des feuilles qui tombent là.
It wasn't the days getting
Ce n'étaient
shorter
pas les jours plus
or the
courts ni les
evenings
soirées plus
getting
froides.
colder. It was the falling
C'était les
leaves
feuilles
that really
tombant
made
des
me
arbres qui
feel
me rendaient
sad.
triste.
As we watched the trees blowing in the
Oui,
breeze,
souffler dans
the
les
old
arbres et
lady
les
said,
dames dit.
"The leaves must fall before the blossom comes."
Avant que les bourgeons viennent.
She had
Bah
already
oui.
explained the seasons to me, so
Ok.
for once I
Alors pour une
actually
fois, je compris ce qu'elle
understood.
voulait dire.
But it didn't make me feel any better.
Mais ça me sentir mieux.
The old lady obviously had enough of my moping, and said, "Right, next
dit,
week we're going to have a party."
Nous
For
organisons
some
une
reason
fête.
she insisted that we were all going to wear costumes. Heather was very excited and said, "I've got some perfect ideas."
Perfect ideas. Alors. Non, ouais. Costume d'Halloween. Horace Halloween, ça va être drôle ça. Halloween party. Incroyable. Belle fête.
It was terrifying. Everyone was dressed like someone else. I think I was meant to be some kind of pumpkin, as everyone kept shouting, "It's the great pumpkin."
C'est la grande citrouille.
At least Mr. Silton was having fun telling everyone his joke.
D'accord.
And I suppose Heather's costume was quite
C'est
flattering.
assez flatteur. Ah bah oui.
After what seemed like forever, everybody left, and things got back to normal.
Et les choses revinrent à la
Heather
normale.
was allowed to watch a scary film before she went to bed,
Ok.
but I had to help Alice and Mr. Deck clean up. I wasn't happy about
Je
this.
n'étais pas ravi, mais
But the
vieil
old
homme
man
dit que
said
si
if
je
I was
faisais
quick,
vite,
then I could watch the end of the
faire
film
du
with
film
them.
avec eux. Ok, ouais.
Alice was vacuuming, and Mr. Deck was taking down the decorations. So I
D'accord.
thought I should clean up the plates and glasses.
Hop, hop, hop.
The ear-splitting sound was the fire alarm. As usual, Mr. Deck blamed Mr.
Accusa M.
Silton,
Silton,
saying
disant
he
qu'il
was probably
fuma
smoking one
seulement
of his
une
jazz
cigarette
cigarettes.
bizarre.
But then the professor appeared. He said that there was something burning in the kitchen.
Ah,
Alice looked confused, saying that she hadn't cooked anything since the morning.
rien cuisiné depuis
We
le
were
matin.
all surprised when Mr. Deck opened the oven. Inside was a large black cloak and a slightly
Quoi?
burnt pair of men's underwear. Suddenly the old lady burst in. She looked terrified. She kept shouting, "There's someone on the roof." When we went outside, it slowly became obvious that it was Mr. Silton.
Monsieur
He
Silton?
was completely naked and playing his guitar.
Quoi?
He shouted down, "When I finish this song, I'm going to fly." The old lady said, "Oh my God, I know this one. There's only about 30 seconds left." The old man then quickly turned to me and said, "You know what to do."
Mais wesh. Hop les. Oh. Allez, allez. Oh purée. Voilà, game over. Oh. c'est foutu. Il saute vraiment, par contre, ça me termine. Hein. Allez, allez, allez. On peut le faire.
By the time I had made it up to the roof, Mr. Silton was beside the edge.
Allez, allez.
I tried to calm him down, but he was acting even more bizarre than usual.
Il est bourré. Mais wesh. C'est Horace. Oui.
After an hour or so,
Au bout
Mr.
d'environ une heure,
Silton was
ça n'allait
fine.
bien.
He said he had eaten some bad magic mushrooms.
De mauvais champignons magiques.
Part of me
Je me
wondered
demandais
why
en
he
partie
hadn't
pourquoi il
doubled in
n'avait pas
size.
doublé en taille.
Still, he was soon laughing and joking with the paramedics. One of them said he looked like the world's worst
Le
clown.
pire clown du monde.
I don't think Mr. Silton liked that. So he told his own joke. But that just made the other paramedic call him Marshmallow Marceau. I don't think he liked that either. But at least he was still in one piece.
Il est sain et sauf.
A month or so later, Heather and I were playing video games when the old man said he wanted me to come outside. He said it had been a year since I had arrived, so he had a present for me.
Un cadeau.
He placed the teddy bear high up on a wooden platform. He then told me I should try to pick it up. Try as I might, I couldn't reach the teddy bear.
Bah oui.
However, I still don't understand what happened next.
Qu'est-ce qui se passe? Non. Mais quoi? Non, mais il est pas mort? Mais non. C'est hyper triste. Il va rester ici et pas bouger. Mais il faudrait que tu bouges. Il se réveilla toujours pas. Qu'est-ce qui lui est arrivé? Mais pourquoi? Mais... Oh, c'est... La petite référence là. Le Horace, réveille-toi. Ah. T'es réveillé, c'est bon, tu... Attends, il est pas réveillé? Putain, mais c'est trop triste. C'est triste pour Horace. Pourvu qu'il se réveille, allez Horace. Allez Horace. Mais wesh. Mais qu'est-ce qui se passe là? What the fuck? Mais qu'est-ce qui... Là je comprends plus rien là par contre. Là je commence à m'y perdre dans Horace là. Qu'est-ce qui lui arrive? Qu'est-ce qu'il fait? Qu'est-ce qu'il s'imagine? Qu'est-ce qui se passe? Pourquoi? Aussi? Allez Horace. Qu'est-ce qu'il fait? Il est en train de se rappeler de tous ses souvenirs dans sa tête? Non. Ah, il se réveille?
Was I dead? Was this heaven?
Il
It sort
est
of looked like
vivant.
the basement bathroom.
Il est vivant, c'est bon.
It was the shoes the old man was going to give me. I thought I might as well put them on. They
Yeah.
were just the
Voilà.
right size.
Puis le
The
chapeau.
old man's hat fit me pretty good as well. I'm
Alors
sure
là,
he
oui, tu
wouldn't
m'étonnes.
mind if I wore it. Amazingly, the shoes allowed me to defy gravity. Or maybe it was the hat.
C'est génial. Chapitre 3. Mon monde détruit. Bah oui, il a perdu. Ah, c'est triste. Hop, hop. Et hop. Voilà.
Part of the basement was flooded, and the stairs had collapsed. I didn't know what was going on, but I knew I wanted to get back upstairs. The gate was locked. I would need a key to open it.
Besoin d'une
I
clé
had
pour
to be
l'ouvrir.
careful. The electricity was going haywire in some places.
Hop. Ben je vais où? Ok, j'ai capté. Ça c'est... C'était vraiment triste, hein.
How long had I been asleep? Months? Years? I was so confused. Where had everybody gone?
Ils ont tout abandonné, là. Ils ont abandonné le manoir,
I
le
was
château.
slightly scared. This was the first time I had been outside on my own.
Bah oui. Mais what the fuck? Il a abandonné? Mais what the fuck?
I knew what I had to do. This had to be my purpose. I would clean a million things, so I could become a real boy. Whatever that meant.
Comment je fais pour monter en haut? Et merde. Game over pour Horace. Ok, oui. Comment je vais faire pour tout... Il faut que je fasse quoi en fait? Allez hop. C'est quoi ce bruit? Ah oui, il y a...
The screaming was coming from one of the bedrooms. But the stairs were blocked by a wall of fire.
chambre d'à côté.
The people screaming turned out to be a man, a woman, and their children. They were confused and terrified. At first the man looked like he was ready to fight me, but after I convinced them that I was there to help,
Que
he
je venais les
calmed
aider,
down.
se calma.
There was no way I could carry them all at
Pas
once,
tous les
so the
porter en même
children
temps,
went
mais
first.
alors j'ai mis.
I dropped the children off at the front door and promised them that I would be back with their
Allez,
parents.
allez, Horace, tu vas y arriver. Non.
The fire was getting much worse.
J'en ai ma femme ensuite.
Mum went next.
Allez, Horace.
When we got to the front door,
La
all
femme
the
dit
woman said
simplement,
was, "Thank you. Please
fais
hurry."
vite s'il te plaît. Allez. Qu'est-ce qu'il faut que je fasse? Ok, d'accord.
By the time I managed to get back, the man was
Il est inconscient, vite,
unconscious.
vite, vite.
I had to pick him up quickly, as I could tell the house was going to collapse at any moment.
Allez, Horace. Allez, tu peux le faire. Tu peux le faire, Horace. Ouais, attends, mais tu veux que je fasse comment là par contre? Ça va être compliqué, tu veux que je... Horace, t'as réussi ou pas? Horace! Il a réussi.
I helped the family set up a tent, so they had
Il
somewhere
y a un
to
endroit où
stay.
dormir.
The kids were
Les
excited as
enfants
they
étaient
got to
excités de
camp
camper
outside,
dehors.
but I think they knew they had just lost their home.
Et ils perdent leur maison.
When I mentioned my
Lorsque
quest
je
to
mentionnais
clean
la
a
quête
million
pour récupérer un
things,
million
the man
d'objets,
said I should look through the rubble of the house
L'homme
as
dit
they
que je
had no
devrais
use for
fuir,
it.
mais ça
So,
n'aurait pu
when
rien.
everyone was making dinner, I looked through the wreckage. There wasn't anything I could clean, but to my astonishment, I found a TV set and a games console.
Ah
With a
là
bit
là.
of fiddling, I was able to get them to work.
Allez faire
So I
fonctionner.
sat playing games with the kids until their parents said it was bedtime. As we talked, the man opened
Alors
a
que le
bottle of
paillon l'homme
wine.
ouvrit une bouteille de
I
vin.
asked what had happened. Why was
Pourquoi est-ce
everything
que
so
tout était
ruined?
en ruine?
The man looked at the woman, then the woman sighed
On
and said,
dit,
"There was a war."
il y a eu une
Yes,
guerre.
a war, said the man.
Ah, il y a eu une
One
guerre.
side of the planet attacked the other, and before we knew, it
Tout
was
à
all
coup,
over.
tout était terminé.
Everything gone. Everything destroyed. Well, it's late,
J'étais
said the
dit à la
woman.
fin, nous devrions
We
aller
should
nous
really get
reposer.
some sleep. Help yourself to anything you need, and we'll see you tomorrow.
À demain. C'est triste.
In the morning, I asked the man if he knew what had caused the fire that had destroyed their house. The man smiled. Crap old house, bad
Une maison
wiring,
hiteuse, un câblage,
constant
effectuer
electrical
des
surges
pics de
from the
surtension.
unreliable power plant. Take your pick. He said, if we had the money, we'd move to the mainland.
Et
But
on
we
vit sur le
can barely
continent, mais on
feed
peut à peine
ourselves,
s'y nourrir, alors
let
parce que
alone
d'acheter
buy
une
a
maison.
new house. So for now we're left here with the rest of the
C'est que le
scum.
reste de la racaille.
But he did say I
Il
should head to the
insiste.
mainland, as there would be
Sur
plenty
un,
there
sur
for me
continent.
to clean, and a better quality of rubbish. The man said, before the war, my lovely wife
T'es
used to
marin
be a
pêcheur.
fisherman, fisherwoman, fishing
Ah,
person.
pêcheuse, elle
I
pêchait.
used to catch fish,
Attraper le poisson,
interrupted the
interrompit la femme.
woman, and, seeing as you saved us all from the
Si vous êtes
fiery
sauvé du
end,
feu,
maybe you would like to
tu
borrow
peux
my
emprunter mon
boat to
bateau
get
pour
to the
accéder au
mainland.
continent.
I was a little scared, but then they gave me some captain software, and I was an old salty sea dog within minutes.
Allez hop. Et go!
I took the fisherman's boat to the mainland.
C'est un truc de
The
ouf quand
fisherman
même.
was right.
Tout était en
Everything was in
ruine.
pieces. Everything had been
Tout
destroyed.
avait été détruit.
I docked the boat
J'ai mis
in
le bateau
some
à quai
ruins.
près de
They
Décor,
must
ça
have once
devrait
been a town.
être une ville autrefois. Oh! Et hop. Bon, on va aller je vais fouiller la porte. Oh! Abusé ça. Hop. Non. Oh, ça va, c'est un checkpoint. What the fuck? Et hop les. Et hop les.
I
On
was
ouvre la porte.
confronted by a lovable fat old dog. He almost looked
Il avait
pleased
presque
to
l'air
see
content
me.
de me voir. Un petit toutou
Suddenly, 3 men appeared holding large guns,
avec de gros
or at least 2
pistolets.
men and what looked to
Au
be a
moins 2 hommes
pregnant
de ce
woman.
qui semblait être une femme enceinte.
Incredibly, it was Mr. Silton.
Monsieur
I
Silton.
thought you'd been shut down, he said. I mean, it's been
Enfin, ça
years.
fait des années.
I'm not really sure what's
Je ne sais
happened,
pas vraiment
I
ce qui s'est
replied.
passé,
I then
répondis-je.
told him about me cleaning a
Qu'avec d'un
million
million
things.
d'objets,
He laughed and said,
et
nothing
rien ne
changes.
change.
He then showed me into what was surprisingly
Montrant
a
ce qui
really
était
nice house.
contre toute attente une très jolie maison.
Please
Ah là là.
excuse my husband, said the pregnant lady. I'm Edwina,
Je
but
suis
everyone
Edwina,
calls me
mais
Eddie.
tout le monde m'appelle
I believe you
Eddie.
know this idiot. And that's Preston.
Et lui, c'est Preston.
We've met,
Et on se connaît
said the
déjà, dit
small
le petit
man.
homme.
It was me that delivered
C'est moi
that
qui ai
thing,
livré cette
remember?
chose, tu te souviens?
All you used to deliver was weed, mumbled Mr. Silton as he put the dog
Chose
dish
qui
on
est de
the
l'herbe,
floor.
on a un peu envie
And I was there that night, when
Ah là
this
là.
twat was off his face on mushrooms. Thanks for letting me and the dog stay,
Ne
by
sont
the
que
way.
le chien en fait.
Yeah, well, we like the dog, said
dit
Mrs.
Madame
Silton.
Silton.
And I suppose I've got you to
J'imagine que c'est
thank
grâce
for
à
us
toi qu'on s'est
meeting.
rencontrés.
What with you giving Barry those dodgy
Maintenant,
magic
à Barry,
mushrooms?
ces champignons magiques
She
suspects.
pulled out an old photograph. It was one that
Sorti une
Heather
vieille
had
photo, c'était
taken
une
the
photo de
night I
désert
had
qui
saved
j'ai
Mr. Silton.
prévenu au jeu. C'est Monsieur Silton. Et oui, ça lui rappelle des souvenirs. Avec le vieux monsieur et la vieille dame. Et Heather. Ah, ça lui donne les sourires.
It reminded me of everyone else, so I asked what had happened to them. Mr. Silton said Alice had a small place in
avait
the
une petite maison
countryside.
à la campagne.
The professor had holed up in
C'était
one of the
terré
old
dans l'un
man's
des usines du
factories.
vieil homme.
Mr. Deck was, believe it or
Théâtre
not,
croyez-le ou
now
non,
a
présentateur sur
presenter
la
on the
chaîne,
only state
seule
television channel.
chaîne de télé
And Heather
nationale.
and her mother lived on a
Heather et sa mère
government
vivaient dans un
compound
camp de
where they both
gouvernement où elle
worked.
travaillait.
I asked about the old man, surprised that Mr. Silton
Elle
hadn't
n'avait pas
mentioned him.
mentionné.
He's dead, said Mr. Silton. Sorry, I thought you knew.
C'est triste.
Anyway, said Mr. Preston, I thought you said that
Tu avais
robot
dit que
thing
le robot
found
avait
the
trouvé ces
mushrooms for you
champignons.
in that Order's manky old barn. Mr. Silton looked embarrassed. Well, said Mrs. Silton, I guess we've got you
Ça
to
tâche
thank
de
for getting us
notre
together
rencontre
then.
alors.
Time for bed, I think, said
Allez se
Mr.
coucher, dit
Silton. Make
Mr.
yourself comfy, and we'll see you in the morning.
Allez hop. Et voilà le petit Horace qui dort. Oh là là, il est dans les rêves. Dans ses rêves, un truc de ouf. Allez, allez, allez. Et toi, t'y arrives pas. Purée, c'est triste quand même. Hein. C'est vachement triste.
The next day, I thought it might be a good time to ask about the war. Judging by the look on everyone's
Je
faces,
m'étais trompé.
it wasn't. Well,
Eh
the
bien, la
war,
guerre, dit Monsieur
said
Silton.
Mr. Silton. Barry interrupted his
Oh, t'es en
wife.
pisse à femme.
Can I
Est-ce que
see
je
you
peux
for
te
a
parler en
minute?
privé?
And dragged Mr. Silton out of the
Et
room,
en laissant avec
leaving me
Monsieur
with Mr. Preston. All of a sudden, Mr. Silton appeared. How about a tune-up, he said.
Poursuite, quelques réglages, dit-il.
Mrs. Silton started to make some food, and Mr. Preston was playing with the dog, leaving me to chat with Mr. Silton. I said that I really wanted to see everyone else, but Mr. Silton said that it wouldn't be that easy. Traveling now, especially for a robot, is complicated. Go back to the house, you could even do some cleaning. Wait there and I'll work out a way to get you to each of them. I told him that I couldn't get into the main house because the hallway ceiling had collapsed. I have just the thing, said Mr. Silton, as he pulled some sort of card out of his pocket. If you can get into the caves under the church next door to the house, you can use this security pass to get into the old man's laboratories. You can get into the main house that way. I was so excited, I would be able to get back into my old room. I said thanks, and made my way to the front door. Also, I think you might be able to help us out, said Mr. Silton, but we'll meet up back at the old man's house in a couple of days. You head there and we'll see you soon.
Allez, on y go. Oh. C'est pour ça. Quoi mais... Et hop. On reprend le bateau.
I took the fisherman's boat to the old man's estate.
Hop, et du coup après il arriva. Est-ce que... Hop, on les voit. On va même pas aller les voir, c'est dommage. Ça aurait pu être sympa. C'est par où du coup?
I was surprised to see an old man, but not as surprised as he was.
Pas aussi surpris
It
que
turned
lui.
out he was blind. He was kneeling on the
Il était
floor
agenouillé
with his
porté avec
hand
la
in
main
a
dans
drain.
une
When
canalisation.
I asked him what he was doing, he said his cat had crawled
dit que sa
into the
chatte
pipes
s'était faufilée
and he
dans
was
le
trying
tuyau.
to get her out.
L'aider à sortir.
He was very happy when I offered to help. He said there was no way we could reach her from here, so if I was willing, I could make my way through the sewers and get her from the
Il
other
a
end.
récupéré à l'autre bout.
He said he would turn off the water for as long as possible, but I would have to run, as the pipes would soon fill up again. I happily agreed,
D'accord.
so he gave me a key. He said this will open all the sewer gates.
Toutes les portes des
Go through
égouts.
here, then down the ladder, and through the big door at the bottom.
Ok, ok. Baco, hein.
I
Et hop.
better run.
Ah ouais, d'accord. Je pensais pas à ça tout à l'heure quand il parlait de... que l'eau allait se remplir.
I better run.
Oh là là. Ok. Putain, mais je suis comment là? Je comprends pas comment je peux faire en fait. Ok. Allez. Putain, mais par contre, c'est ultra chaud, non? Oui. Non. Oui, on a réussi. Non mais... J'ai aucune idée de comment ça marche. C'est pas possible. Allez, allez. Putain, mais par contre, c'est ultra chaud. Mais non, j'y étais, frérot, j'ai trop le seum. Allez, 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 allez. Allez, allez, on va y arriver. Mais non, mais j'ai sauté. Non, frérot, c'est bon. On va y arriver, on va y arriver. Ok, c'est bon.
I found the old man's cat. She was fine, if a little confused.
Un peu confus.
I was horrified. It looked like me, but it shambled around like something from the film we watched on Halloween.
Donc c'est celui qui a des portraits de lui, ça j'ai pas compris par contre.
The man was happy to have his cat back. He looked so content with her sat on his lap. I told him about the thing I saw, but he just laughed and said, "Those bastard robots, they're always getting up through the pipes.
Ah ouais?
Don't worry though, it'll never get through the big doors. If I had my way, we'd have blown up the lot of them when we had the chance." I wasn't sure what he meant, but I decided now wouldn't be the best time to tell him I was a robot. The man laughed and said, "Don't worry, I know who you are," and told me that he knew the old man.
Ah, il connaissait le vieil homme. Oh bah ça va, tant mieux alors.
As we chatted, the man brewed himself some tea. He said that he had worked for the old man. In fact, he had lost his sight in one of the old man's factories. Strangely, he smiled at this thought. He always did me right,
Il m'a
he
toujours bien
said.
traité,
When
continue.
I had my accident,
Quand j'ai eu mon
the
accident, le
old
vieil homme m'a
man
dit
said
qu'il
he would
s'occuperait
look
de moi.
after me. And he did.
Et il a tenu
He
parole.
always made
Il s'est
sure I
toujours
had
assuré que
enough
j'avais
money,
assez d'argent.
and he let me move
Il m'a
into this
laissé
old
dans la
pumping
vieille station de
station on
pompage
his
sur son
land.
terrain.
Which reminds me, I
Ça me
have
rappelle que
something
j'ai
here
quelque
for
chose pour
you.
toi.
He rummaged around behind
Il faut
the
derrière le
cupboard.
placard que tu
Then
m'as
he
expliqué.
continued saying, "The old man wanted you
Viens
to
me
have
voulait que
this
ça
when
te
you were
revient quand
old
tu
enough,
serais âgé.
but fate wouldn't allow it."
Mais
He
le destin
passed
a
me a
décidé
large
entre me
box.
donner une grosse
It
boîte,
was
elle était
empty.
vide.
I thought about pretending to be
Je sais que ça va
excited,
faire ça.
but the man said, "Wait a minute, it's empty, isn't it?" He slumped back in his chair. "I was robbed a few months ago," he said, almost in a whisper. "It's strange. They took practically anything metal, but left loads of food and a brand new saxophone." The man looked sad, so I thought I would try to change the subject. I told him about my quest to clean a million things. This at least made him smile. He said I was welcome to go back through the pipes anytime I wanted, as there were loads of old things in
Car il y
there
avait plein
that
de
could
vieux
be
objets
cleaned
qui
away.
pouvaient être déblayés. Ben, on part, nous. On a combien d'objets d'ailleurs? On a combien d'objets en total? Ça devait être ça la clé là. Ouais, c'est ça, ok.
As I walked through the old church ruins, I was
Je
surprised
suis
to hear Mr.
surpris
Silton
d'entendre
calling
M.
me.
Silton m'appeler.
He said he had forgotten to give me something, and the church's community hall would be the perfect place to try it out. As soon as we walked into the hall, Mr. Silton said he had a present for
Un
me.
cadeau pour moi.
It was a pair of Atlas gloves.
Paire de gants
They
Atlas.
made me think
Mais c'est
of
ce
the
qu'il y avait
old
dans...
blind man with the cat and his stolen Atlas gloves. I
Pourquoi il
wonder
a fait
if
ça,
Mr.
M.
Silton knew
Silton?
how lucky he was to still have them with a glove thief around. Mr. Silton asked me to try the gloves on and start chucking things around. But not him. He was very clear about that. Mr. Silton suggested we clean the hall. Of course I knew when he said we, he meant me. But I was happy to try out my new gloves. He said I should clear everything off of the basketball court and put the things on the floor either side. I fiddled with the settings for a bit, but when Mr. Silton saw I was having trouble, he produced a small manual.
Il a produit un petit manuel.
He explained that pressing down and X would pick the thing up.
Sur
X would then throw the thing, and if I wanted to place it on the floor, I should again press down and X. He looked more and more confused as he read all this, but he eventually finished by saying, well, I hope
Bon,
that
j'espère
made
que
more
tu as mieux
sense
compris
to
que
you
moi.
than it did to me.
Genre... oui. Touche du clavier. Courir, je vais sauter. Ah, ok. Mais... Je comprends pas, pourtant c'est mage la touche. Tu vois qu'il a envie de le prendre, mais... Attends, j'avais réussi. Ok, c'est bon.
Mr. Silton sounded slightly annoyed when he said, come on, take all the stuff off the basketball court and chuck it either side.
Ça me termine un peu le truc. Ça, c'est le plus compliqué. Allez, allez, tu vas y arriver, Horace. Oh, mais non, mais... Allez, allez. Ouais. Horace, il avait fait un panier, t'as vu ça? Allez, 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 Horace. Voilà. Voilà. Ben voilà, j'ai tout fini, non?
Let's see what else these
Voilà.
gloves can do, said Mr. Silton as he
on
flipped
fait tourner
through the
le
manual. He actually looked quite excited
très
when he
enthousiaste
explained
quand
that
tu
holding
expliqua
bits while
que
walking
t'as
into
rentré
or
dans un
under a
objet
falling thing
et
would
en
allow
tournant
me
dessus
to
et
catch
permettrait
it.
de l'attraper.
I must admit, I was then really happy when he suggested we make it again, and I tried to catch 10 basketballs.
10 ballons. Et ben, et ben. Allez, allez, allez. Allez, allez, allez. Allez, allez, il en manque plus que 3.
Next, Mr. Silton
Si
suggested
j'aurais
we
faire une
make it a
vraie
real
partie.
game and see
Wow,
how
wow, wow,
quickly
wow.
I could score 10 baskets.
Pour marquer 10 paniers.
I enjoyed
Putain, mais
this
c'est un
so
truc de
much.
ouf. Hein. Je
It felt
basket
just
avec
like the good old
Horace, les
days.
gars.
Except Mr. Silton wasn't as forgiving as the old man.
Allez, Horace. Ouais. Oui, Horace. Oui, Horace. Oui, Horace. Il est grand aujourd'hui, Horace. Oui, il n'y en avait plus qu'un. Et oui.
When I'd scored 10 baskets, Mr.
Voulez que
Silton
je
gave me what he
faire
called
ce qu'il
a
appelle un
high five.
fight five. Un high five. C'est quoi un high five? Je connais pas.
He said I now knew everything about the gloves and I
Tout
should be
sur les
able
gants
to
et que je
continue
devais
through the
pouvoir
basement
continuer
of
du
the
sous-sol
church
de
into the
l'église à la
house.
maison.
When I asked him if he was coming with me,
Et
he
Rie a
just
dit
laughed and said they would
qu'il me
catch up with
retrouverait
me
dans
in the
l'entrée
main hall.
principale. Bah oui, forcément, il va pas prendre de risque. Il est encore long là, le troisième chapitre. Oh là là. C'est abusé. Oh. C'est bon, il m'énerve mes copies là. Mais quoi, mais... Hop, ça doit être ici
I was
peut-être.
stood in a gigantic cabin. When I looked down, I
Là-bas,
was
je fus
horrified
horrifié
to
de
see
voir mais
hundreds
certaines...
of corpses of those things.
Mais
As
ouais.
horrible as it sounds, my stepdad Chip said they were things to clean. So clean than I would.
Déjà, dans ce cas-là, c'est un peu bizarre, hein, mais bon. Quoi? Et hop. On va éviter de le prendre lui quand même. Il me semble vraiment peu faisable. Hein.
That must be the door Mr. Silton talked about.
Mais pourquoi j'arrivais pas... Je peux pas rentrer là. Ok, ouais. Allez,
The
allez.
door was exactly as Mr. Silton had described it.
J'avais décrit,
I
ok.
just hoped that the card he had
Je
given me
regarde
was
qu'il
the
m'a donné
security
ta
key
carte.
and not just some backstage
C'est
pass.
passé pour les coulisses d'un artiste.
Well, it opened the door. But soon an alarm went off. Something caught my eye. It was a small yellow
Petite
sphere.
fleur jaune, ouais.
The book next to it explained that it was a shield that would automatically take a hit for me when activated. The Y button took the shield in and out of storage, meaning I could
Ok.
save it for when the going got tough. It seemed that I started with 2 slots to carry shields, but I could upgrade to be able to carry more. If both I and the shield died in the same room, the Lazarus chip would bring us both back. It's almost as if the shield needed its sacrifice to mean something. It felt like a true
Donc
friend,
là, j'ai un bouclier
proving
en
that
fait.
even the simplest of faces can bring out
It's
an
a good-
emotional reaction.
Allez. Je peux en prendre que deux en fait, ok. Et hop les... Merci pour le follow, Playban. Ça fait plaisir. Ok. Tu j'aille où après? C'est ultra chaud. Ah ouais, d'accord. Ah, salut Wolfer, comment tu vas? Allez, apparaît. Hop là. Oui, hop. Là, je suis... Ouais, ça va être compliqué. J'attends qu'ils disparaissent et qu'ils réapparaissent pour y aller. Allez, 3. Ok, c'est bon.
Something literally caught my eye.
C'était littéralement aux
I
yeux.
remember the
Je me
old
souviens
man
que
had
William
installed
avait
some
installé un
software that
logiciel
helped
qui
show me things that were interactive and
était
how to
interactif.
interact
Et
with
comment
them.
interagir avec eux.
This must be
Ça
what
va et
he
toi,
was
moi, ça va
talking
super,
about.
écoute.
The electron gun blew the power. I needed to turn it back on before I could fire again.
Mode des objets. Je crois qu'il faut que je l'éteigne. What the fuck? Quoi? Mais non, mais... Mais c'est quelle touche là pour y activer le truc? C'est E. Oh, bu. Mais... Comment veux-tu que je fasse? Il est mort, c'est bon. C'est bon, il est mort. Putain, mais c'est ultra chaud par contre.
This seemed quite valuable.
C'est ultra chaud là, pire par contre.
The video recorder's blinking light caught my eye.
Attira mon regard.
It must have been years since
Ça
I
devait
had
faire des
seen a
années, je ne
film
vais
or
pas regarder un
TV
film
show.
ou une série.
Maybe I could take a little break from my quest and watch the film on the tape.
Regardez le film de la cassette.
As the video started, I was surprised to see the
Oh,
old
c'était le
man.
vieil homme. Ah, c'est quand il a
Hello, hello,
reconstruit son
he
gros robot
bellowed
là.
in his familiar tone. This is test number
Euh,
1017.
Ah oui, 107 c'est.
He continued as he read
Ah,
from
ils
a
ont son
clipboard.
bloc-notes, tata.
This unit still has
Il y a
three
toujours eu 3
major
grands
issues.
problèmes.
1. The shell is so incredibly thick that the whole machine
L'enveloppe
is
est
still
tellement
far too
épaisse que
large
ça
and
rend la
heavy.
machine
Two,
bien trop grosse.
The missile system is too unpredictable and aggressive. And 3.
En 3,
The
le
trade-off
compromis.
between power and intelligence is far too great. I think the military capabilities would be far too dangerous in
ouais.
the wrong hands.
Ouais,
I
bah
think
oui,
we would be best to
logiquement.
push forward with the Innocence Project.
Innocence, ok, ouais. Et c'était terminé. Là.
I didn't really understand a word of what he said, and I was slightly disappointed that he had recorded over the film, but it was nice to see the old man's face again.
Bah bien sûr, ça fait plaisir. Oh, la petite musique.
I wasn't sure what was going on, but suddenly, inanimate objects started to come to life.
Quoi, mais... Non, attends, il y a un problème. Bon, on va vite rentrer dedans parce que là... Et reviens là. Ouais, c'est pas grave. Faut que j'aille où là? Je suis obligé de passer par en haut. Non mais... Je suis trompé de côté. Je suis toujours pas habitué en fait aux touches du jeu, je crois. Mais non mais... Mais pourquoi ça veut pas m'accrocher dessus? Chut. Pourquoi ça veut pas me... Je comprends pas, frérot. comprends rien du tout. Bon, on va arrêter là. Hop. Du coup les gars, on va arrêter ici. On se retrouve ce soir sur les jeux K-Corp, de la K-Corp. Donc tous les jeux plus, etc. Moi je vous dis à la prochaine. C'était Kirjumper. Ciao les potes. Bye bye.